Hey, sweet friend, welcome to today's episode. We're talking about how you can use my unique inner peace method to support yourself when you have one of those weeks where everything feels like it's going sideways. Be sure to listen to the full episode as I share all of my tips of how I got through a really tough week, and a quick shout out to the amazing Shannon T. Shannon, thank you so much for your kind and sweet comment. Girl, we are living this life together, and I just love you from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate everything that you do to support me. So, without further ado, grab a cup of coffee or tea and let's jump in. Welcome to the Business of Inner Peace. I'm your host, ErinJean, and I'm so glad you're here. Let's pretend we're sitting in my living room enjoying a cup of coffee or tea and getting to know each other just a little better. That's what I love. I love getting to hear your story. I love feeling connected by the spirit of understanding that our stories bring. Today, I'm sharing some of my story, but I hope someday soon you'll be telling me yours. Listen, I know that you're feeling overwhelmed with life and nothing is exactly how you'd like it to be. Your marriage is not what you hoped for, motherhood is harder than you imagined, and you've lost yourself somewhere in the mix of responsibilities. Well, if you're ready to bring some more peace and joy into your life, reconnect with God who made you, and start living a life you love, then grab your cup of coffee or tea and let's dive into today's show. Hey friends, welcome to another episode of the Business of Inner Peace. Wow, this week has been a doozy. Have you ever had one of those? I mean, it's just been overwhelming from start to finish. And I really want to talk to you about it because I want to share with you how I got through it. And by using my specific and unique method called the Inner Peace Method, I tapped into tools that can help me navigate the feelings of overwhelm and frustration and guilt and all the rest. So, let me start off by telling you that we got home from a wonderful family trip for a wedding in Arizona, and we had some friends taking care of our house and taking care of our dogs, which I just appreciate so much, and it's such a heartfelt thing that they did. But I have this really weird pet peeve, and it's about my towels. I know this might sound really weird, and that's okay. I realize it's maybe not a normal thing, but I grew up with a mom that had show towels. We had towels that were strictly decorative to make the bathroom look really nice. And I don't know why, as an adult, I really like the show towels. I like having the bathroom look a certain way. But I guess in my mind, I just thought everyone everywhere knows that if the towels are all cute and matching, that means they're show towels and you're not supposed to use them. And this has happened several times when we've had someone stay at our house to help take care of the dogs and, watch the house. They used my show towels to dry off after a shower, even though in the house instructions I explicitly say, I have a linen closet full of towels for you. For some reason, they just are so drawn to my show towels. And it's one of those little pet peeves. So that kind of bothered me when I got home. But I just took a deep breath and realized they don't know. They didn't grow up with show towels. It's no big deal. They are just trying to do a nice thing and help you out, right? Well, strike two was they washed my duvet cover with my down comforter, my really nice, pretty down comforter, I use these cool little pin things for my duvet cover, and I have it all hooked together so that the down comforter doesn't move inside the duvet cover. And this is maybe a lot of detail, but I'm just trying to explain. Essentially, you can't get the down comforter out of my duvet cover without this special magnet tool that unlocks the pins. So, of course, a person that doesn't live in my house would have no idea where to find this magnet tool or how to take the duvet cover out. And I guess they don't know that you're not supposed to wash a down comforter. And so I came home to also discover inside of my dryer a soaking wet down comforter pinned into the duvet cover. So I had some more irritation. I was feeling really frustrated about this. And then I discovered that my daughter also did some laundry after we got home from our vacation. And I like to have certain things air dry, like swimsuits and linen pieces of clothing. And I discovered she put them all in the dryer. And it was just kind of like blow after blow after blow. And I found myself unreasonably angry. And I literally was talking to myself in my head going, this is so silly. Why are you so angry? Every single person was really trying to help you. Nobody's doing this on purpose to upset you. And yet here I am. I'm so angry. And I kind of told my husband about a few of the things, and he's like, what's going on? How can I help? And I just said, I need to go take a time out by myself. I know that I'm unreasonably angry considering what's happened. So I went to a separate room. I closed the door, locked it, got on my little favorite meditation pillow, which is quite nice, and I began to do some tapping. Now, with my inner peace method, inner peace actually becomes an acronym to help you remember all of the tools and steps when things like this in life happen and you're getting overwhelmed. And the inner stands for internal needs now, energetic resource. And essentially, it's just a way to remember to go, okay, pause. What's going on? What are my internal needs right now? And then what is the energetic resource that I can use to help support me through my needs? The peace part of the acronym is actually the tool belt. It's all the various tools that can help you move through whatever's going on. And this is exactly what I teach my students in the 12-week course, The Business of Inner Peace. And it's just one of those things that has become such an anchor for me as I collected all of these amazing tools. So one of the tools in my tool belt is tapping. I really like tapping. It helps completely calm the nervous system and it helps you to shift. So I sat down and I began to do my tapping process. The cool thing about tapping is you can just kind of say all the negative, all the things that are unreasonable that are floating through your mind and get it all out. And that's what I did. I just said how angry I was about all of this stuff as I was tapping through the points. And I came to realize that these feelings of frustration and anger were rooted in not feeling like people care about my stuff, which is therefore maybe feeling like people don't care about me. And I realized that's just not true. And I came up with so much clear evidence for my brain to see all the ways that people do care about me. And that's what you do with tapping, is then you shift into the positive, what you're calling in, and allowing your brain to make space for it to possibly be different. I'm telling you, the whole process can take as little as 2 minutes, or you can spend more time if that's what you need. But it helped me shift so dramatically. And that's why I really love sharing this with my students. And that's also why I created that free tapping meditation for you, my listening audience. Because if you are going through a stressful situation, which most of us who are struggling in marriage, 9 times out of 10, there's an argument that has happened. I have created this free tapping meditation for you that's specifically for after an argument. You can go and grab it at bit.ly/ErinJean meditation. And that link will also be in the show notes if you want to find it. But it's a great resource if you've just had an argument with anyone, even with a kid, to help you calm your nervous system and shift, just like I've talked about in a previous episode. Remember, we don't want to be operating from our primal brain where that fight, flight, or freeze lives. We really want to be operating from that frontal cortex of our brain where logic and reasoning and good decision making lives. So don't keep arguing, pause, go and do the tapping meditation, allow your nervous system and your brain to calm down and to release all those stress hormones, and then come back and have a meaningful conversation. So that's where my week started out, and I felt really proud of myself that I was able to shift and support myself and recognize what I needed. Now, fast forward to Tuesday, one of my favorite days of the week, because it's when I meet with my students from the Business of Inner Peace, and we get to have our live call together and discuss all that's been going on. And I started to feel horrible by Tuesday evening. I was having really bad body aches. And here's one of the things that historically has not been my strength. Historically, I am not good at saying no to things, canceling things, and taking care of myself. I usually try to push through, especially anything I feel like I've made a commitment and an obligation, and I really want to show up for people. I'm a person that integrity means everything to me, and when I say yes to something, I want people to know that my yes means yes, and I just have a hard time with having to cancel stuff. So my husband really was being wonderful and really encouraging and said, I think it would be for your best if you went ahead and canceled. And I really had to sit with that for a minute and realize I wouldn't be giving my students my best if I showed up not feeling great. And I really needed to honor what I actually teach, right? Which is a lot of self-love and a lot of self-care. And so I decided to cancel the class. And of course, everyone was very kind and understanding. Wouldn't you know it, about 30 minutes later, my youngest child starts vomiting. And it was quite a doozy. So I wasn't feeling great. And essentially, she was vomiting every 15 to 30 minutes all through the entire night, all the way until about 6 a.m. It just did not let up. My poor sweet little girl. She's only 5, and she has not gotten sick like that since she was a baby. So she didn't even know what throwing up was. She was trying to understand what was happening to her body. And anyhow, she was a trooper. It was a very long night. And I thought maybe we were out of the woods. She sort of rested during the day. Well, we had an appointment for my son that day, a follow-up appointment to get a second opinion from a doctor. He recently broke his wrist and Doctor 1 was recommending surgery. I am huge into natural health, holistic health. I really don't like having foreign objects in the body. They wanted to put a titanium screw in his arm, and there was a chance that his hand could heal without that intervention. So I didn't want to make that decision lightly, and that's why we got a second opinion. So we get a second opinion, and that doctor also recommends a surgery. And so we came to the point to make a decision together as a family to say we do think that surgery probably is going to be best. So we schedule his surgery. Meanwhile, my little one is still not feeling great. Now, 2 days later, it's Thursday morning. It's now morning of the surgery. Up early. I'm starting to not feel great. I won't tell you what was going on because of TMI, but I wasn't feeling good. And I still needed to get him to surgery and support him. So I just put on my mom rally cap, did my best, got him to surgery, and was there for him that day. Get home, and that evening, my little one has still not used the restroom, is still not eating or drinking. It's now been 48 hours of this, and she tried to eat something, and then, of course, she vomited. I, by the way, also ended up vomiting at one point here during all of this, and I was just so overwhelmed. I had another group session that I ended up having to cancel because of all of this that was going on. We had to ultimately take my little one over to the ER because she was so dehydrated. She needed IV fluids. She needed some medicine to stop the nausea so that she could be able to drink and eat. And it was a long night. We didn't get out of the ER until 2 a.m. And I was battling feelings of guilt because my 16-year-old who just had surgery was home alone because my husband and I were at the ER with the 5-year-old. And it's just a lot. It's just really overwhelming when you're trying to do your best, right? I felt like I was really trying to go for self-care and honor what was going on with my body. And ultimately, my children were the ones that really needed me this week. And I was so overwhelmed by feelings of guilt from every angle. And that's when I just really needed to pause and allow other people in my life to be that voice for me that I so often am for others, and to just say, you're doing great. This is what it is. No reason to feel guilty. You're an amazing mom, and everything's going to be okay. And the thing is, I made a decision to agree with them, to believe them, and to acknowledge that all of these things are true about me. And oftentimes, especially as moms, I feel like this is a place where we really struggle. And the struggle is actually in our mind. And until we make this decision to take God's word seriously, where we are dedicated to renewing our minds, and we are dedicated to taking every thought captive, we cannot create a new life. We cannot create a new outcome. We cannot even be the best version of ourselves until we make those steps. And the thing that I've noticed is before I was doing this type of work and really tapping into these subconscious healing tools, I didn't really know how to do this. I thought taking every thought captive just meant I had to use willpower to try and change my thoughts. But the truth is, you really can't willpower subconscious programming out of your head. You need very specific tools to help you to do it. And it's because of all the work that I've done and the progress that I've made that I was able to know, hey, in order to change these thoughts and not stay in them and dwell in them, I actually need to look for evidence of how the opposite of my thoughts is true. And I was able to quickly see it reflected to me in the comments of what others were saying to me. And I was able to validate, what they're saying is true. But that's only as a result of doing a lot of this work of rewiring the subconscious programming and learning all of these amazing tools to help support myself. It is not something that happened overnight. I just want to repeat that because I don't want you to feel guilty in any way, shape, or form if you're not able to just snap your fingers and do this type of work. But I'm here to encourage you that there is so much hope available to you that you can absolutely rewire your brain to begin to live from a place where your brain and your thoughts are working for you, and you can get some amazing tools to support you on this journey. And I would be honored to get to be the person to walk that path with you. So be sure to grab a link in my show notes. If you want to talk with me one-on-one, you're always welcome to do that. If you're just like, I already know, I want in, this program that you're talking about is 100% for me, there's also a link to just jump into the program in the show notes. So I hope this little blip of the reality of my life has somehow been helpful to you today. Or maybe you're just feeling comforted to know that, hey, you're not alone. And sometimes you have one of those weeks where it feels like everything is going sideways. I'm here to tell you that there is so much hope available. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. God, who loves you and created you, has plans for you. His plans are for your good. They are to give you a hope and a future. And I sure love you. You are seen, you are known, you are loved. Make it a great day. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you're feeling blessed by the content here, the number one way you can show me is by leaving me a written review of the show. I'd be forever grateful. Knowing that you're out there listening helps me know that I'm truly living out God's purpose in my life. The other thing you can do is take a screenshot of this episode, share it with a friend, or better yet, tag me on your Instagram stories. Remember, you are seen, known, and loved. May God richly bless you today. All my love, ErinJean.